day of the Delta Lloyd Regatta in the Netherlands. It's the day of the medal races. There's a lot of wind and it's gonna be exciting.
The final day of medal races at the Delta Lloyd Regatta continued the week's themes of strong winds, frequently gusting to more than 20 knots, as the day wore on to over 30 knots. Leading going into the 49er medal race were Britain's Stevie Morrison and Ben Rhodes, 8 points ahead of Australian double world champions Nathan Outteridge and Ian Jensen. In the end, it was the Danes Peter Kruger Andersen and Nikolai Torschel who rounded the top mark first ahead of Ireland's Ryan Seaton and Matthew McGovern, with New Zealanders Peter Burling and Blair Tuke third. By the first leeward mark, the British team of Dave Evans and Ed Powers had pulled up to second, with Outteridge and Jensen third, the Irish maintaining the lead to the finish. However, with the Australians dropping to third and Morrison and Rhodes coming home sixth, the Brits secured the day's first gold, with the Australians second and the New Zealanders Burling and Tuke third. While the podium places in the 49er went out as they came in, this was not to be the case in the Finn. Going in, Croatia's Ivan Kljakovic-Gaspic led British 2010 world champion Ed Wright by 3 points, with Australia's Brendan Casey a further 6 points behind in third. Gaspic got buried at the start and was unable to redeem himself on the first beat. While Wright led for the rest of the race, Gaspic redeemed himself, pulling up to third place. Unfortunately, he spent the final 2 laps unable to pass the Netherlands' Peter Jan Posma, and ultimately this would give the gold medal to Ed Wright. He finished with silver, with Brendan Casey taking bronze. Like the 49er, the podium places remain unchanged in the medal race for the laser men. Croatia's Milan Jusainovic dominated the medal race throughout, but ultimately it was Australian Tom Slingsby who finished third to take home the gold, 16 points clear of Brazil's Bruno Fontes and another 17 ahead of the Netherlands' Roelof Bouwmeister. In the laser radial, local favourites were waiting a good show for Marit Bouwmeister, leading by 12 points going into the medal race. However, 3 boats were vying for the 2 remaining spots on the podium, with just 3 points separating Belgium's Evie van Acker, China's Ligia Zhu, and Croatia's Tina Mihelic. In fact, the medal race was dominated by up-and-coming Irish sailor Annalise Murphy. Among the trio, Ligia Zhu initially looked strong, but a capsize would cost her her podium place. While Bouwmeister finished 6th, enough to claim the gold overall, a third place for Evie van Acker elevated her to silver, while Tina Mihelic took bronze. For the RSX Men, this week racing has been dominated by Korea's Ta-Hoon Lee, and despite a brief moment when China's Wang Achen led round the top mark, so Lee continued his form, winning the medal race. Achen's second place was enough for him to displace Brazilian Ricardo Santos from the bronze spot, while a third place for Zachary Pavsic saw him maintain his silver position. By the time of the RSX Women's medal race, the wind was building into the high 20s, and a feature of the race was the number of sailors falling in the water. With 8 points separating the top 4, the podium was wide open going into the race. Unfortunately, an early victim of capsize was the pre-race leader, Israel's Mayan Davidovich, who, unable to finish, dropped her to 4th. This left China's Li Ling to claim honours in the medal race, taking the gold overall with it, while silver and bronze went to Australians Jessica Crisp and Alison Shreve. With gale force gusts on the IJsselmeer, the women's match racing final between the Finnish team of Silja Lehtinen and the Netherlands' René Groeneveld was full on and reduced to a best of 3. Groeneveld's team won the first race, Lehtinen was dominating the second when on the final run a gust caught the Dutch crew's yacht, and during a near broach Groeneveld's 2 crew were rudely ejected from their boat, Groeneveld sailing on single-handed. With the scores level, the third race was again dominated by Lehtinen, but again there was disaster on the final leg. With the 2 boats on split jibes and the Finnish team looking untouchable, a massive gust caused the Dutch team to literally take off down the run, and from way behind they were able to go on to a comfortable victory, prizing gold from the clutches of the Finns.
Congratulations! It was a very exciting medal race, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty good out there. It was a nice bit of wind, very shifty wind because we're so close to the shore, and the Australian guys were, trying to keep us entertained for most of the race. So yeah, it was exciting.
And the tactic was always keep an eye on that Australian sail.
Yeah, they were the only boat that, well, technically there was only 2 boats that could beat us, and they were the closest. And so really, yeah, for us it made no odds where we came in the race. We just needed to make sure that we were within a couple of boats of them.
This morning you were second in the series so far, but you ended up first.
Yeah, I was really excited to go out today. Nice wind, quite strong winds. And I was actually on the way out to the start line. I saw Stevie and Ben from Britain also winning the regatta, so it was nice to see that, and I was hoping to try and do the same. I wasn't in such a good position as them. They were going in winning. I was going in second. Yeah, I had to put a boat in between me and Ivan. So luckily, one of your home country, Postma, got in there and split us up and gave me the victory.
Yeah, I think I had a comfortable lead with 12 points, so I had to finish top 6 and I would win the event. So I wasn't that nervous in the race because I was all the time within the top 6. So I knew the conditions, it was changing a lot, so I had to be really sort of proactive. But I'm happy I managed to do well.
Congratulations with your silver. It was a very tight top in the beginning. Were you stressed out about that?
I was very stressed. It's our Olympic trials, and if we won here, we qualify for the Olympics. We have to win a grade 1 or come top 6 in the world, so we have pretty much the hardest qualifications. So yeah, it was pretty hard.
So you were very nervous before you had to sail tomorrow. You already, well, almost won the race.
Yeah, I wasn't nervous at all. I mean, having an 18-point lead it's pretty substantial in a medal race. So yeah, other than breaking gear or being over the line, it was always going to be pretty tough for him to catch me.
After a challenging week at the Delta Lloyd Regatta, we look forward to seeing you again next year.